my previous company. Oh. And
So,
he started
sorry.
howling.
All right. Let's see how many participants we're going to get today. Hmm. Hmm. We're going to get started here in about just a couple of minutes. We have opened the chats. We have opened the Q&A. So if you have a question, feel free to ask away. Please, this is an open webinar, and so just try to not be spamming and just be respectful. Okay.
Hi, Carrie.
Hmm.
Yeah, it is a Zoom link that once you register, you have to go back to your email and you can log in from there. Hi, and welcome everyone.
Lots of familiar names in here. Nice to see everyone. Today was a big day on the ship, actually. We lots of painting happened. The funnel is all painted white. The green line is going on the side. The rest of the names are coming on, and we should be just about finished painting here in the next day or so. Hello from Edinburgh, just a hop and skip away.
So it's 4 p.m. Should we wait another minute? There's
Yeah, there's
okay.
quite a few popping in, so I'd say give it another couple of minutes. When it starts stabilizing, I think we should just go. Uh, we are all exhausted. Thank you, Dawn. I can tell you that me and Kathy and a lot of the people here on the ship have never worked so hard in our lives. Um, but it's all worth it in the end. What? Oh yes. And the reason why Kathy is not on today is because she has a cold. I've been battling a cold since I got here a month ago, and Kathy is she sounds pretty rough, so she's not gonna
Yeah,
be on here today.
she needs to rest.
Yeah. Certification is going. We just started today. DMV's come. One DMV server came today. Two more are coming tomorrow. So uh, it's not 200 people here today. What?
Mhm. Thank you, Kathy. I think Mark, should we start? It's 4:02.
Yeah,
There's
let's
two
start.
people
We can. Yeah, we can start. I think.
on the webinar. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, hello everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome to our webinar. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Anne. For those of you who don't know me, I am in sales. I work with three rock stars in our team. We have Mark, Tobias, and Melissa, who's all on the call today. So the reason why we're hosting a webinar is because in the last 2, 3 weeks, we have received a tremendous amount of interest with this newest program that we launched, which is called Endless Horizons. But today we kind of want to go over and review the different programs that Villa Vie is offering and also dig deeper into Endless Horizons program so you can all better understand how the program works, the ins and out, the limitations, and the different advantages of it. Obviously, I'm joined by my CEO, Mike, and him and I are gonna be tag teaming the presentation today. Just a reminder, if you have any questions, please put it in the Q&A box so that we don't miss it. At the end of the presentation, we will be going over your questions, time permitting, and of course, we'll be sharing all our contact information. So if there are any further questions, we can always schedule a one-on-one time with you guys. Yeah.
All right. So with Villa V, there's three ways to buy. We have the standard ownership program, which is one of the two programs we had. You can either purchase a cabin or you can rent a cabin. It's pretty straightforward for these programs. You purchase a cabin as if a specific cabin. It's yours. You can do what you want with it. You can rent it out. And you can use it as you please. When you rent a cabin, you basically pick your segments, you put a 10% deposit, and you pay as you go. Recently, I don't know, about 10, 12 days ago, we launched the Endless Horizons program, which is an ocean view guarantee, which is for life, right? And this ocean view guarantee is good for our ship and uh, and the entire fleet. So currently, our fleet only consists of the Odyssey, but we expect uh, expand our fleet pretty quickly following the launch of Villa Vie Odyssey. But we'll go into the Endless Horizons program a little more detail in a bit. But what do you get for when you come on board the Villa Vie Odyssey? Well, we've already built, well, actually, it's not us who's built it. The community has already built a huge following. It's
Up your volume. Put up your volume. Put up your volume.
how do you put up your volume? Okay, I'm gonna just not use this thing. See, see if that works. Can everyone hear me now? Can you hear me, Ken?
Yes.
How about
Yep.
now?
Clear.
Oh, perfect. All right, let's go. Let's do it this way then. Um, so what I was saying is we've really created a close knit community already, and it's pretty evident based on what we see uh, both in Southampton and right here in Belfast, and those of you lucky enough to go on the cruise out of Southampton. I want to hear all about it, but I heard very positive things. And so one thing that I'm looking forward to the most on the Odyssey is just that the community, meeting everyone, and having so many memories to share with everyone, having like-minded people to have meaningful conversations. But what else can you expect? Well, we have a host of entertainment. We have three restaurants on board. We have a casual buffet style restaurant. We have a sit down restaurant, and then we have the specialty restaurant on deck eight. Um, we have we have partnered with a shore excursion group to develop our shore excursion program. We will also have additional shore excursions where they don't have a ton of availability. So we're working with more local travel agents, or not travel agents, but shore excursion, like different groups, providers, to work to fill out, to give more options in different ports. Everything else is what else? We have drinks included. We have beer and wine at dinner. Your high-speed internet Wi-Fi is included. You have your first medical visit is included. It's whoops, what happened there? And yeah, and then that's basically it. What you want to budget for would be things like the spa, and if you have an alcoholic drink at the bar, or shore excursions, right? So shore excursions cost some money. We have some portage programs that we do include. So that's part of our purposeful exploration program, where we uh, we partner with different groups to minimize our carbon footprint, and it's our way to give back to society. All right, Endless Horizons. Do you want to give an overview on what's included here, Anne, and talk a little more about Endless
Yeah,
Horizons?
yeah, absolutely. So, Endless Horizons program is the latest, right, innovation of Villa V. We launched this about 3 weeks ago, and media got the we got the attention of media, right. On a sales standpoint, I want to say that we have been inundated with a lot of interest with the Endless Horizons program, and I can say it is really a very unique program that is really designed for those that wants to just pay once and don't have to think about ongoing cost of daily living. So Endless Horizons doesn't have any monthly fees. It is all included. It's very similar in a way with cabin ownership in segments, in the sense that it provides you all the inclusions, right? The basic amenities and services. You get your meals, your housekeeping done for you, laundry, high-speed internet is included, restaurants and bars, all the access to onboard amenities and services. You are also getting free portage excursions and the different excursions that we offer. You get access to the vibrant community that we all built from the very, very beginning. Medical access is also part of what's included in Endless Horizons, and a lot more. Um, there are some differences with Endless Horizons, and I think that is on another slide, right? Um, One of the biggest advantages that I love to talk about this program is there's no monthly fees. Imagine just paying once. You pay your deposit, pay the program in full, and you don't have to worry about anything, whether you're on board or not. Right? Of course, there are some limitations to that, but we will go in detail in the next slide. The other thing that's really good about this program is it gives you guarantee across Villa V fleet. So it extends beyond Villa V Odyssey. As you know, in our pipeline, we do have ship acquisitions coming up very, very shortly. Right now, we're just laser focused on setting sail Villa V Odyssey very, very soon. And then after that, we're gonna get to work and acquire more in our fleet. With Endless Horizons, you are more than welcome to use other vessels in the future. And so, for example, you bought into an ocean view cabin, you are able to use that ocean view cabin in a different vessel. You'll be offered a comparable or the same cabin type. Do you want to add anything to that, Mike? Did I summarize that?
Yeah, no, that's a good explanation. Look, what this is especially for those that are considering retirement, but they don't know necessarily how much they need, because we all aren't sure how long, how long we'll last, or if our savings are gonna, or if we're gonna outlast our savings. So this is really meant for a program where you can pay the upfront cost and then never really have to worry about anything else. And that's really what it's meant for. It's really a worry-free program. You will always have access to a cabin and be able to really travel the world in a way that has never been offered before.
Right, right. The flexibility is there because as an owner of the Endless Horizons program, you can embark basically anytime, anywhere. You don't have to worry about your monthly fees or when you want to do it. There is no limit as to how long you want to stay on board. You can stay for 2 weeks, 2 months, or the full 3 years. The only thing that we ask is when you embark and re-embark, or disembark, you would have to give us, at least a 30-day notice so we can guarantee that a cabin is guaranteed for you.
And
So,
and some of you are asking, what about security and is my money held in escrow and so forth? Well, the thing is that this is a limited program. We're actually 92% sold in the first segment, and we're very well sold on the following segments. So we've put 20 cabins aside for this. It doesn't impact our liquidity significantly either way. It we actually are quite well capitalized. We have raised money both through equity and debt, and are looking to acquire a second vessel here in the next couple of months, and we'll grow from there. Our company is quite cash flow positive upfront. So we really don't have any exposure on on going bankrupt, right? I mean, we're like just in 3 months' time, we'll have over $30 million on our balance sheet. So from a risk perspective, no, we will put the money in escrow per se, but as the money goes hard, the money does get transferred into our operating account, and we do not hold the money in escrow in perpetuity, right? That wouldn't work. But we are, we're a growth company. We got a healthy balance sheet. We have about 70 people, residents are actually owners. The company is actually 60% owned by the residents themselves. We provide complete transparency to these owners in our quarterly board meetings. We show our financials. We are largely, like I said, resident owned. So that should give you some relief as to how we operate our company.
Yeah, that's correct. So with ownership and Endless Horizons, I'm just gonna go through some of the bigger similarities and differences. So the similarities would be the inclusions. If you are, whether you are an owner or you booked a segment or you are renting, you do get the same inclusions. So you do get the meals, the services, use of all onboard facilities. Those are all included. The same goes for the exclusions. So the port excursions, spa services, alcoholic beverages, those are not included all across the board for ownership, Endless Horizons, and segments. The main difference is, this is something that you would have to really ask yourself, right, and understand if this program is the best fit for you. With Endless Horizons program, it is specifically designed for the residents themselves because this is so flexible and you're able to travel and come on board basically anytime, anywhere, and you don't have to pay monthly fees however long you stay on board. This program is non-transferable, which means you cannot have your family or friends use it for you while you're gone. What happens is when you're not on board, Villa Vie puts the cabin back into the inventory. And then when you re-embark, you could be assigned a different cabin number, but what we guarantee is the cabin type is going to be similar. Or there could be a chance that it will be better depending on availability. So 30 days is what we ask when you are re-embarking.
And
Access.
and to add to that, if you know that you're going to go off the ship for 2 weeks, you don't have to be off for 30 days as long as you tell us. The communication here is really the key, right? So if you tell us 30 days in advance that you're going to go home for a couple of weeks or a month or 2 months, just tell us when you're coming back so we can make sure that we have your cabin ready for you.
Right. And I get asked questions too. What about storage? Because some people are going to be leaving some of their, one suitcase, and that's totally fine. We can work with that. So you don't have to, disembark and carry everything with you. You can leave, a suitcase or two with Villa Vie and come back and get it from us. So that's totally fine as well. Access to other ships with Endless Horizons, I think I've mentioned earlier, you have access beyond Villa Vie Odyssey. So when we have, our second and third ships, you are able to use that at any point based on availability. Cabin assignment is also the differentiator between ownership and Endless Horizons. With ownership, you are buying a specific cabin that is assigned for you, and you own that cabin for the entire lifetime of the vessel, which we guarantee 15 years. With Endless Horizons, you could be assigned in a different cabin every time you embark and disembark. Another thing is friends and family. With it's the same terms and conditions. The only difference is the cost of friends and family visitors. So you are able to invite friends and family, whether to stay in your cabin while you're there or in a friends and family designated cabins. With cabin ownership, it is $33 per person per day. And it's $129 per person per day with the Endless Horizons program. Yeah, so we since we launched last week, I think we've sold more than half of what we'd originally allotted for in this program. On a sales standpoint, I think it's very very possible it will sell out by the end of this week, just because there's so much demand that we're getting from everyone. We have existing cabin owners who are now thinking this could be a better product for them, and of course new people who are just finding out about Villa Vie, who are interested in learning more. So I really, we really think this is such a great deal if this will fit your requirements, right, and your risk. And if you have any questions, we'll be more than happy to set up a one-on-one meeting. We are a small but mighty team, 4 people in sales. Myself, Mark, Tobias, and Melissa will be more than happy to entertain your questions.
Great. Thank you. I mean, we have lots of questions here. It's awesome to see this many questions. We're going to try to go through as many of them as we can. And a lot of the questions are similar. So, uh, uh, so basically, a lot of it is about friends and family. If you own a cabin, you have friends and family available for $33 a day. But if you do the Endless Horizons program, it is attached to you and you only. So if you have a visitor, the visitor comes at the going rate, and for an outside cabin, that is $129 per day. And so they can stay in your cabin, or we have other cabins that are available for friends and family that would have that carry that same rate. And so what is the expected life of the Odyssey? The Odyssey is expected for at least 15 years, um, probably many more years, but we're guaranteeing the Odyssey for at least 15 years. And again, we're looking at least a 3-ship model. Our next ship we expect to have announced in the next 2 months, and we can't really go into more depth on that right now because we haven't announced anything. But that is the expectation. And so your guarantee is transferable between ships. So if you want to join another ship, you have the right to do so at an equivalent type cabin.
Will the Endless Horizons program ever be made available for balcony cabins? Yes, we can, but that's very, very limited. It's first come, first serve. We can only allot 1 to 2 balcony cabins for Endless Horizons, just because of the availability. Most of our balconies are now sold, mostly sold out.
Yeah. Healthcare insurance. We have a travel insurance group that we've partnered with, and so we have travel insurance available. This is really dependent on where you live. So in the US, about 80% of our guests are American. And in the US, the state you live in limits how long you can buy travel insurance. In some states, it's a year. Some states it's 6 months, and some states like New York, it's only 3 months. So at the end of that period, you would have to buy another policy, and some states require you to uh, at some point visit your home state to get a renewal on your insurance. That's again that's depends on your states, and it depends on the limitations. to your specific situation. So it's difficult to give a blanket answer. But we do have a travel insurance partner that has been able to um, create a good program. Uh, if you miss out on Endless Horizons, will they be sold when we have more ships? Um, maybe not. I don't know that. I suspect the next ship is going to be a little newer, a little larger, and the cabins on that ship will be a little more expensive. So I don't know that we are going to be able to keep these prices for Endless Horizons, but we may bring the program back because it's really shown a tremendous demand. Just to give you some perspective, we've in the last 10 days we've had more interest than we have since we launched the company in July. And so that really tells you so if I purchase a villa through ownership at double occupancy and my spouse passes away, will the monthly charges go to single? Yes, that's right. It will go to single. What is the residency status of owners? Um, you are, this is a Bahamas flagged ship. Um, Bahamas, Bahamas law is the ruling law on board, and you are, I think, considered basically a Bahamian resident or international resident. I'm not really sure exactly, but there's tax implications there, and uh, yeah, there's some implications there. I'm not a tax specialist. Yes, we're incorporated in the Marshall Islands, but we are flagged in the Bahamas, just to clarify. How many doctors or healthcare providers do we have? I think there's three in that medical office. Not positive. It's five right now, but I think we go down to three. Uh, Dogs are not allowed. That is correct. All right. You want to take some questions here, Anne?
Sure. Can monthly fees be paid with credit card, and if so, is there a surcharge? So Endless Horizons does not have any monthly fees. But if you are a cabin owner, yes, you can pay with a credit card and there is no surcharge. I read that rooms are subject to availability. If I stay on board for years, will I be asked to move at some point? No. Um, the general answer is no. Once you are on board with this program, you can stay however long you want. The only thing is when you disembark for more than a week, Villa Vie can reassign the cabin, and you may be assigned or reassign a different cabin when you come back. How does mail deliveries work? Spoiled here in the US, ordering from Amazon and having it delivered the next day. Yeah, you can still, you don't have to part with your Amazon purchase. You can still order off of Amazon. Everyone is given a US address where you can use that for your mails, packages, and our home office down here in Florida forwards the packages and mail every 4 to 6 weeks. Um,
Mail is free, but if there's packages, especially if it's heavy packages, that will come with a cost. So just keep that in mind. Don't buy 12 packs of wine and try to send it to the ship, please.
yes, you can buy cases of wine at any port. You can bring alcohol on board. That's totally fine too. What would happen to pets? So once, oops, I'm losing the questions because more questions are coming up.
Yeah, I know.
Um,
There's so many questions. Can you purchase a
if
cabin with a credit card? No. We have a maximum limit of $25,000 per transaction, and that is our credit card company that limits us to that.
So if my wife and I pay 150,000 for a double occupancy, we will then pay 5 to 8,000 per month for fees as well.
Yes.
Yes, for in the regular cabin ownership.
Yeah. And so, and this is what I kind of compare to owning a yacht or something like that, where you first have to buy the yacht, right? And then you'll need food, you'll need gas, you'll need to put the boat somewhere. You probably need a captain, and that's really what that cost is for. So it is the cost basis. So all costs have been divided by cabins and you're just paying for the cost. We do not make any money off of monthly fees.
Is there an age minimum for Endless Horizons? No. You can be 20 or 50, 60. You can be on Endless Horizons program.
So endless program. So Joni asks, I'm confused. Is the Endless Horizons a program where you pay a 10% deposit, then pay a fee? No. You pay a 10% deposit, and then you pay for your program before you come, 60 days before you come on board. And then you will never pay anything ever again. So there's two programs. You can purchase a cabin where you pay monthly maintenance fees, and then you can sell that cabin, you can rent that cabin, you can give the cabin away. It is your cabin for the life of the ship, which we guarantee to be at least 15 years. For the Endless Horizons program, you have a permanent right to an ocean view cabin on any of our ships.
Someone is asking about insurance requirements for cabin owners. Do we need some type of insurance like we would have as a homeowner, or is that included? That is included. As a cabin owner, you just pay monthly fees. You don't pay any special assessments. Villa V takes the risk if anything happens to your cabin. We take care of that for you.
Yeah. And somebody asked about what type of excursions are included and which you need to pay for. Most shore excursions you will pay for. We have select purposeful exploration. I can't speak today. Shore excursions that are part of our portage program. This is our sustainability program where we in Madagascar. We work with different programs to have, um, you know, make it so that we minimize our carbon footprint. I think it's a program that's very popular with our residents, and that is something that we're going to build out over time. But so the shore excursions, the regular shore excursions are not included in the program. And your gratuities. So when we talk about gratuities, there's different types of gratuities. Your cabin gratuities that when you take a normal cruise, your cabin gratuities are always included. If you buy an alcoholic drink or you go to the spa, there is a gratuity for the people serving you, and that's already included in on like that's already on the receipt when you pay. Offices, yes, there are private offices, $500 a month. I don't know about shared office space. So there's shared office space as well. We have uh, like cubic spaces. I don't know, but maybe don't quote me, but I think there's about 12 spaces. And there's space. There's a library with a lot of seating space as well that can be utilized for working. Will Mike or Kathy and Kathy be on board permanently? Um, no, we have a 13-year-old, 15-year-old, and 16-year-old in school. We're quite landlocked, but we plan on being on board for the summer and we plan on visiting a lot, but we don't plan on being permanent residents at this point. We're gonna stay on board for a month or two in the summer, and then we are off to the next project, which is the next ship.
How long is Endless Horizons guaranteed for? It's valid for your lifetime, not the lifetime of the vessel, but it's for the lifetime of the resident who bought into the program.
Is a glass of wine free at dinner? Yes, it is. Indeed. Can I have a copy of financial statements? No, you cannot. We do have, but we do have reserved for repairs and such. I actually was a financial executive for 20 years. I budgeted operational costs for many cruise lines, many cruise ships, and I have developed the financial model for our company. We do share the financial model with our investors. We have 70, over 70 now, investors that are residents themselves that we have shared our financials to. There is a non-disclosure agreement that's required, and we're actually closing up Founders Club on Wednesday, so the door of that would be probably be closed at this point because we still have another 5 or so meetings to go through, and I don't know. I think it's going to be just about too late. Um, so no, I don't think we be sharing. We're a private company, and so we're not inclined to share financials on a on an ad hoc basis.
Can you please explain the basic of Endless Horizons? There is a 10% fee, and then, oops, I lost it. So basically, for Endless Horizons, you secure your spot by putting a 10% deposit, and then 90% will be paid 30 days prior to your embarkation.
What level of renovations are undertaken on the villas? Is it basically just a polish or a cleaning, or is it more comprehensive? Um, It depends on what villa it is. There are many cabins that were in very good shape that we have not done much to at all. There are other cabins that we've done significant work. And For example, we've done all new carpets and all new wallpaper and accessories and on deck four. On deck three and two, we're actually closing down to do more extensive work. So there's again not a blanket statement there, but generally, if the cabin is in good shape, we haven't done much to it. And if the cabin has been, or the cabins are in rougher shape, we've done a lot more to it.
Yes, yeah. Will all of these guarantees be in a written contract? Have a copy of the Endless Horizons contract we can see? Yes. Yes. If you're interested, yes, please reach out to us and we can answer some specific questions and send you a copy of sample.
So Kirby says the website says pay 90 days. That is when you rent a cabin, your segment is due 90 days before the segments start. If you purchase a cabin, it is 30 days, and if you do the Endless Horizon program, it's 60 days. So it's 30, 60, 90, depending on which type of program you buy.
Someone asked, anonymous attendee, if Endless Horizons owner leaves ship for over 30 days and then returns and space is not available for a period of time or even indefinitely and not able to use cabin paid for, what happens?
No, look, we guarantee that there will be a cabin, at least ocean view or up. So this is part of why we only have 20 Horizon, Endless Horizon deals. We have friends and family cabins that we revenue manage, and we'll always have cabins available set aside specifically for the Endless Horizon. So we know how many people are off the ship and how many cabins we'll have available. So no, that's on us. We guarantee that there will always be a cabin available for you.
Will there be dancing? I think you answered this.
Absolutely. I'll be dancing. I can't dance well. That's Kathy's style. Kathy dances a lot better than I do, but I'll still go out there and dance. Uh, Chrissy, I posted my questions 3 times, but it's not been answered. Chrissy, it's not because we're avoiding your question. Does Villa Vie on land program during dry dock cost extra? It's a good question. Um, if if you have an endless horizon program, you would not be paying for your hotel um, when we do Villa Vie on land. So we would cover that hotel. Um, right. Are you still looking for investors? Not really. We've reached our goal for equity, and so we're not really looking for investment at this point. We're closing Founders Club on Wednesday, and we don't foresee any more opportunity to do that. Do you have PPM? I don't know what PPM means. It's financing done under U.S. law or Bahamian law. The financing is the the loan agreement. What is it done under which law? Loan agreement is with Oceanus Capital, and it is done. I think I don't know, German law, Luxembourg law. I'm not really sure. I don't know why it's relevant to this, but I can look it up. Get back to you. How many Canadians are owners? We have a significant amount of Canadians. I'd say maybe um, 15 to 20 of you in total. Why are monthly fees on a balcony so much more than a regular cabin? Because the fees are based on the cabin value. Um, if and that's the really short answer. All right, let's see if we have more questions. Can you embark or disembark in any port? Yes. If for the endless horizon program, there is no dollar amount, so there's no dollar amount associated to your cruise, so you could embark or disembark as long as it's not, again, you have to follow the Jones Act and other acts that work similar to the Jones Act. So, for example, you can't uh, get on in the US and then get off in the US without hitting a foreign faraway port. And so that's really the only limitation that I see to that. But you can basically, outside of the US, you can basically embark anywhere.
Right. Mike, there's a few questions here. You've addressed this earlier, but there are some people who are just joining, asking about the risk. Right, like what happens to the investment if something happens to Villa V. Can you speak again about the capitalization of the company in our business structure, just an overview?
Yeah, so that's fine. So we raised just about $7 million in equity through Founders Club. We have a $6.9 million loan with Oceanus Capital arranged by NRP. We have currently received about $12 million of owner of cabin purchases. We have about $27 million on the books for the rental program, and I have no idea where we're at on the endless horizons, but that's the overall capitalization at this point.
Like there's 96 more, 98 questions more questions.
All right.
How large are the Ocean View Villa and how large is the ship? How many rooms and guests? So this specific ship is a 486 cabin. Ocean View Villa can be anywhere from 140 to 165 square.
Yeah, square feet. Yeah. So we consider your cabin your bedroom and the ship your home. And it's that's really how we look at it and how most residents look at it. We don't spend a ton of time in our rooms. We're in port a lot more than a traditional cruise ship. So we encourage you to get out there to our common areas are a little more loungy. They're a little more comfortable, and um, so yeah, um, we we don't encourage you to spend a significant amount of time in your rooms. We actually encourage you to get out there and explore. Can passengers use the elevators? Yes, we have 5 elevators on board. You can use any of them. How long are some stays in port? So we have the more there is to do in port, the longer we stay in port. So we have some stays that are just one day in an island when there is not much to do, and some places like I don't know, like I don't remember the specific length in cabins, but or length in ports, but there's some places we stay up to 4 or 5 days, and really we try to match our itinerary with different events. So we're going to Rio de Janeiro, for example, during Carnival. We're in Sweden near my hometown, Gothenburg, for 3 days during midsummer. And we have several stops like that where we're stopping in specifically for a festival or an event. How do we handle visas? Well, we have partnered with a company called Atlas Visa that will handle and facilitate visas, particularly for Americans. They can also help if you're Canadian or otherwise, but it's a little trickier. Ultimately, you are responsible for your own visas, but it's in our best interest to make sure that you have the visas you need. So we will work with you as much as we can on that. It's hard to track questions in Q&A. Yes, you're right. It's also hard for us because there's so many questions coming in. Uh, but that's good. How long are, okay, no, I already answered that one.
To the Schengen rule, it's the very first one on the Q&A.
Schengen rule. So Schengen, I don't know. We don't have any issues with Schengen. Schengen rule, certainly not on the first stop in, but how this works is when you board the ship, and if you board the ship and you are given, you get on the ship, you surrender your passport. You get an out. So let's say you get on in Amsterdam or something. You get an exit stamp in your passport. That passport is held at his desk, and you are considered a transient passenger, meaning you're not actually considered to be in Europe. And the Schengen rules change just about every year. Our next time that we come to the Schengen area is going to be in 3 years. If the rules change, we'll have to address those challenges, and we would have to limit our stays to 90 days or less, or you can always apply for a 180-day Schengen visa, and that would also take care of a if we had to, we can always apply for an 880 days. What is planned for poor weather, for ports, or political turmoil? Well, The good thing is that um, the captain can has a discretion to not go to ports. So if Israel is not in better shape, we'll probably avoid that altogether when, in 3 years, when we have to take that decision. If things get worse with Russia or China or God knows what, then we have the ability to avoid those areas. And that's the great thing with being a ship. We can always move it to where it's easier. Poor weather, we shouldn't have much poor weather, but you never know. There's there's hurricanes in the Caribbeans in the summer times. We're not going to be spending the summer times in the Caribbean, but we really going to spend the summers in the northern hemisphere and the winters in the southern hemisphere. So it's really always going to be summer for us. It's the shoulder season that can get a little worse, but typically speaking, um, we're following the sun, and we shouldn't really have much issues um, with weather. Do you use tenders or always use port side? Well, it depends on where we go. So in the South Pacific, we'll only use tenders. In Europe, we'll basically only be port side. So it really depends on the itinerary and where we are. And uh, it really depends. Uh,
Someone asked about dress code. It's
no
the
dress code.
general, yeah, general guideline is elegant
Yeah,
casual, right, for dinner.
yeah,
And
yeah.
there's gonna be some events where you would probably want to dress up, right, for special events like Thanksgiving, Christmas, and other festivities on board. Also, someone asked about animals or pets on board. We do allow cats, but unfortunately, we're not allowed to take dogs on this specific vessel.
Yeah.
Mm.
All right.
Someone asked about referrals. I
How,
don't understand referrals. You can refer as a resident. If you are a resident and you refer a new resident to us, you would be given an incentive for that referral.
okay. How does inflation work? Um, well,
Take economics.
the monthly fee is fixed, guaranteed not to be raised. How are costs covered? Well, it's pretty simple. As we grow economies of scale, and we have opportunity to lower costs through economies of scale. Um, so yes, I do expect there to be inflation, not inflation like we've seen in the past, but we do guarantee your fees to stay fixed for the duration of the 15 years. But again, that's not an endless horizon question. It is a purchase question. Um, are you planning on attending major sporting events? We're gonna try, but again, the itinerary is created 4 years in advance, and so given that even for things like the World Cup of Soccer, we don't know the city that is going to be in until closer in. So it is a bit of a challenge, but this is definitely something that we do have in mind when we create the itinerary. How would our luggage get to the ship as your limited what? How I think what you mean to ask is how do we get our luggage to the ship?
Mhm.
We have two ways. We have an address in Florida where you can send it to, and we will ship it to the vessel. Uh, we ship it to the vessel monthly, I would do that a little more in advance because it takes some time. Then you can bring, your smaller stuff to the ship. But I would definitely utilize our Florida address if you have more bulkier items. Uh, do segments purchases count towards a purchase? No, it does not. Uh,
Dentist is yes, dentist is going to be available on board. Someone-
will future ships also circumnavigate the world? Well, the 3.5 years is not a guarantee. Some some circumnavigations will be shorter simply because we don't want the same 3.5 year circumnavigation every time. People want to see different things. So, for example, in the first circumnavigation, we do the northern Atlantic crossing. In the second circumnavigation, we do the southern Atlantic crossing. This is just one example of many. We do want to keep the itinerary interesting, and we'll change things as we go. So the 3.5 years isn't necessarily a fixed timeline. We're a residential cruise line, and we're permanently going around the world.
What are the price differences? We've
Okay, so some of you have asked what if Villa Vie Residences is sold? What happens? Well, um, the ownership of Villa Vie Residences has no impact on Villa Vie's obligation to the contracts that have been signed. I'm a little confused to that question because it shouldn't matter. If somebody acquires Villa Vie Residences, they have acquired Villa Vie Residences and all its obligations and financial positions. So it, let's say if we were to be acquired in 5 or 7 years by a different cruise lines, it would what would happen is we'd probably get more ships, we'd probably get more opportunity at choosing what ship we'd live on. But it doesn't impact the company's Villa Vie Residences obligation to the contracts it signed. So it has an impact. All right.
So the differences in pricing, Ocean View Endless Horizons is 299,999 for single and 499,999 for double occupancy. For balcony, it is 599,999 for single and 799,999 for double occupancy.
Okay. And do you have our travel insurance partner information? I don't have that in front of me. Somebody who's that? Like travel
Yes,
insurance.
yeah, it's readily available on the website. Under residents, they can just easily click on travel protection and they can request a quotation from our partner and all the listed information on what it covers, on trip cancellation, medical, and such are indicated on the website.
Yeah. And certainly, uh, countries that we would miss due to conflict or due to unrest or who knows, we would try to visit it the next go around, right? So if it's not safe to go to Israel this time around, hopefully the next time around we'll make an extra effort to make sure we go. The average length of port stay, I would say, is about 2 days. But it really depends. Some areas are more like one day, and some areas are more like 2 or 3 days.
Okay, that's it. It's powerful.
Okay, we'll have time for three more questions. It's 5 o'clock, or it's 5 o'clock. We try to limit these questions to 1 hour. So,
I think answered a lot of the general questions. If there are any questions that are very specific to your situation, I think it deserves more than a 30-second answer on the webinars. Please set up a meeting with any of us sales advisors, and we would be more than happy to go through your situation and answer.
Yeah. Shannon's asking, I tend to be a night owl. Does the ship close for night, or will the library and other rooms be open? Um, well, the library will be open 24/7. The business center is open 24/7. Um, Room service is available 24/7. However, the bars do close, the entertainment, people have to sleep, and so there will be less available amenities at night versus during the day. Uh, all right. Let's see if we have one more question. What floors are in the balcony rooms? Oh, what floors are the balcony rooms? We have balconies on deck 6 in the middle. We have balconies all over 7, and all cabins on deck 8 are balconies. Do you broadcast NFL questions? I think so. If not, I'm bringing
Yes,
Fire
we
Stick,
do.
and I'll be sure to broadcast it at Mike's Park. You want to pick the last question, Nan?
Will there be access to a chiropractic service? Yes.
Yes, actually, we have a residence
Yeah.
that is chiropractic. I call them chiropractors. Yes, I think we have a residence that is one, and I think we'll be able to provide that. But we'll see that there's an insurance question there that needs to be handled. And made sure that we can do that properly. But I'm pretty sure we'll have that.
Yeah.
All right.
This has been great. Yeah. Thank you all so much for joining. And yes, please reach out to us to answer. I know we didn't get to all 500 questions today, but we will on our one on one meeting. So please don't hesitate to reach out to us.
Yep. Thank you, everyone. Can't wait to see all of you here in the next few days. We're extremely excited to see the residents. We've already been meeting with the residents almost on a daily basis. It's crunch time for us, and we can't wait to take a break. So see you guys
Yeah. And
soon.
it's 11 p.m. your time. Thanks, Mike and Kathy, for being here. We appreciate it.
All right.
Yeah. Bye, everyone.
All right.